Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. You're listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci, and we are talking about 100 days. And you know what it is, President Trump, what he did in 100 days and what the next 100 days will look like most likely. We probably don't know that, but we know it's going to be good, so stay tuned.
Yeah, good morning, Southwest Florida. Today we're going to be breaking down the markets, as always, the headlines and the real story behind what's happening in Washington and on Wall Street and on your street. And we'll walk you through this week's market performance, year-to-date trends. And as Alfie said, we're going to review the first 100 days of Trump's presidency and how Alfie is helping retirees and pre-retirees thrive through it all. So whether you're 5 to 10 years from retirement or already enjoying your retirement years, grab a coffee, grab your pen. Be sure to jot Alfie's number down, 239-747-1077. And before we dive in, don't forget Alfie's book, Making Waves in Retirement, is available by popular demand. If you haven't picked up your copy yet, what are you waiting for? It's filled with real-life stories, proven strategies, and powerful insights to help you retire with clarity and purpose. To get your copy, it's complimentary. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call the operator or text the word BOOK, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077. Again, claim your free copy of Alfie's brand new book, Making Waves in Retirement. Call the operator, ask for it, or text the word BOOK to 239-747-1077. 1077. And Alfie, let's start with the numbers. A lot of things are happening. I'll tell you, I watched a lot of, his 2-hour cabinet meeting. It's absolutely phenomenal what's going on in every sector of government right now. And people are angry and people are happy.
It's crazy, right? You have the Democrats that feel like he is not doing anything but tearing up this country. And then you have the Republicans that are ecstatic, that, hey, for the first 100 days, no president has done what he has done in 100 days. He is working probably about 20 hours a day.
At
least 20 hours a day. He is, on the phone. He is, he was on the phone with, I forgot who it was, but I think it was Bezos at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So these are things that you just don't see. It's just not normal. But the good thing is that, hey, we had some news that came out. Now, this really was, I think, bad news, but the markets handled it good, and I'll tell you why. Because it was Wednesday of this past week that the market got some news that the GDP, economic growth, contracted by 0.3% in the first quarter, and that was really the first decline in nearly 3 years. Remember, 3 of these negative returns means recession, okay? Well, the markets were down at the beginning of that, during that day. The Dow was down 700 points. The NASDAQ was down 500 points. I mean, it was not looking good. But by the end of the day, the NASDAQ was only down 14 points, and the S&P and Dow was up. So it made up all those negative, and then the next day we had some good earnings from Microsoft, and we're going to talk about that, Apple, NVIDIA, and that really, the futures were up, and then Thursday the market started rocking and rolling. So we're going to talk about this because Bassett, which is the Secretary of Treasury, he was on Maria Bartolona, and he was saying that these numbers that were negative will probably show after they revise them, it's not going to be negative. He doesn't feel like a recession's coming, so that's good news. If a recession isn't coming, he knows things that we don't know. He was talking about $5 trillion of companies that are investing in the United States that's going to create 450,000 new jobs. And these jobs aren't going to be low-paying jobs, John. These are going to be higher-paid jobs. And so he feels a lot of good things are happening. A lot of companies want to do business here, and a lot of people are going to benefit from this. So I don't see a recession. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and then when you talk about the numbers through the last year of the Biden presidency, I mean, they were all padded and everything. We may have been in a recession, wouldn't you think, last year? And now we're getting ready to come out of it and rock and roll with all of these investments coming in by these companies like NVIDIA, GE Aerospace. Like you said, these are going to be big-time jobs for people that are going to be making probably, close to 6 figures.
Pharmaceutical, making pharmaceuticals here. The other thing, Secretary of Treasury was saying that, when you have the government just pumping money into it like they were doing, they were just printing money and putting money in it, and that was a government-induced type of economy.
Right.
I mean, now this is private sector induced, and that's what you always want. You want private sector because they're creating instead of manipulating. Creating instead of manipulating. So this is going to be, I think we're going to be, and he says this is the golden age, and I feel it is a golden age, and it will be. Now, inflation, the good thing about that, personal consumption, expenditures, they were flat for March, so that's a good thing that inflation didn't peak its head again. The 12-month PCI rate eased to 2.6. And the first quarter annualized rate rose to 3.5%, showing really mixed signals there. But the job labor market that wasn't the best for private sector, it only created 62,000 jobs. That was, added for the month of April. Now it's really the weakest since July of 2023. So it's probably cooling a little bit, the labor market. But again, you're going to see some good things happening. It takes time, but when you start building factories, when you have $5 trillion of investments, it's going to take time to build factories. And one thing that's going to be construction, that's going to be buying materials, that's going to be a lot of, creating jobs just in that sense. And then once the factories are built, then things are going to be rocking and rolling.
Right, and you're looking at about a year before these factories are built, right?
Yeah, probably a year and a half, and then where again once we get deals signed, these countries that are with the tariffs, they want some deals signed. And speaking of a deal that was signed, John, that mineral deal big with Ukraine is huge. To have a partnership of because China has been grabbing all the mineral rights around,
right,
and this one that they own is 90% of the market, which is where it's the magnet that they make the batteries out of, and the motors. And this is going to be, that they dominate that. So the mineral rights, China dominates. So it's nice to have that. That's why we're looking at Iceland, and now we just signed the deal with Ukraine. So that's huge. And people don't really see that, but that's what President Trump is doing when, Sleepy Joe was sleeping and they weren't getting things done. This president, like him or not, is working his butt off. And we, at least 20 hours a day. He is not sleeping much.
Yeah.
He is not sleeping much because he has a mission to save our country. And I think he's doing, it's not always going to be perfect, but, man, he's working hard.
Yeah, and he's assembled a tremendous team like no other cabinet has been before. And Alfie Townsend has assembled an incredible team here at the Advantage Retirement Group that you want to take advantage of because you want to be positioned, especially in your portfolio, to get you to and through retirement. Alfie has designed what's called a retirement simulator process, which is a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. If the only thing you find out is that he exposes all the hidden fees inside your portfolio that could be eating up your returns, that would be worth the trip to visit with him in Fort Myers or Naples. But he's going to take you back 5 years side by side with your portfolio, make sure that you're allocated properly, diversified correctly, not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting each and every year. Listen, you owe it to yourself to take advantage of Southwest Florida's premier financial planner professional. Talking about a man with 40 years experience as a CFP. His responsibility is to you. He's a fiduciary, not to any products or services that he offers here. Listen, his team is assembled, tremendous team. Take advantage. Be one of the first 9 callers right now. Don't wait till we go off the air. Don't hesitate. Grab your smart device right now. Text the word VISIT VISIT, or call the operator 239-747-1077. Again, be one of the first 9 callers taking advantage of Alfie's retirement simulator process. If you haven't had it done before, you owe it to yourself to do it now. You can meet with him in Fort Myers or Naples. Text or call the operator. Text the word visit, 239-747-1077. We'll be right back right after this break. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner Alfie Townsend. You know, Alfie has a retirement simulator process, but he also has a free toolkit that he's offering. So if economic uncertainties are putting your financial decisions on hold and you're soon to be retired within a 5 to 10 year window or currently retired, listen, you need to pick up Alfie's free toolkit that will help transform your worries of retirement into confidence. You know, inside Alfie's toolkit, he's going to give you a wide range of materials, complimentary topics such as, will your money last as long as you do? Are you paying too much taxes in retirement? The Social Security Decisions Guide. When is the most opportune time to optimize your Social Security benefits? And will a recession rob your retirement? Listen, get a hold of Alfie's Toolkit right now. Call the operator and ask for it, or text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. That's 239-747-1077. 1077. And Alfie, as we come back talking about the market, you know, the market is off a little bit from year end last year, 2024, but it's really not off that much.
No, it's not. And you got to remember, it started this year. It was, I think they said the worst April since like 1932.
Yeah. It was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
You know, but the good thing about it is the market is something that is unpredictable, which is what you want. If it was predictable, that means there's not money to be made in it. So there's money to be made in the market. Hopefully you did not panic. Our clients, we were calling them to say this is a good time to do Roth conversions when this market's down. We know it's going to come back. It's a good time to really put extra money in. If you have extra money, put it in. If your advisor was scaring you in a sense of, hey, let's take some money and put it in the cash, let's put it in the bonds, then you're missing the rebound. We didn't do that here at the Advanced Retirement Group. What we're doing is we know you have to look at the leadership that we have. I would have to say the last 4 years with Biden in the office, with his team that he had behind him, it was not a conducive team to give you confidence. Clients came in here in my 43 years of doing this. The clients that came in were really new people. They were scared. They didn't want to invest. And you really couldn't blame them because of what was happening. But then the market's bigger than the presidency. But the market was doing good in those 4 years. It did good. It had one bad year in 2022. 2022 was bad. But when you're printing money, like we said earlier, it was manipulated. The market was manipulated by government spending, and that's what we're trying. We're trying to get that one big tax bill passed, and hopefully, there's some Republicans that are not wanting to do that.
It's a balancing act.
It's a balancing act because
they said by July, though. Why are they waiting so long for that?
Well, July 4th, they want to have something to celebrate. But this is something that needs to be done because this is why the American people put Trump in, is get that pass and get immigration fixed and get where the people can save more money from the taxes, instead of sending in all these taxes. So hopefully that bill is going to get passed. So there's a few things that can really inflate this market up. And one of them is going to be, when deals are signed for the tariffs with these other countries. That's going to be a big one. But once China is, they're going to have to come to the table.
Oh, they're under such pressure right now, from what I'm hearing.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing too. They're under pressure. They have containers that's not being delivered, and they're not accepting because of the tariffs. So this is something that if you really dig deep with China, they're not doing as good as they want you to think they're doing.
Right.
By far. So they're going to have to come to the table, and it's going to have to be one of these things that Trump can't really pound his chest and say, I made them come to the table. It has to stay humble on that, bring them to the table. and get this thing done, and you're going to see the market take off there. So you're going to have a couple, and you know, the thing about it is we didn't have tariffs, and now there's a 10% tariff across the board.
Right.
You know, so we have money coming in that we haven't had.
It's like $2 billion a day, I think, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Close to it.
So we have money coming in that we didn't have before, which is amazing, which is you know, because we got to get and this is how we're going to get these bills passed, because of the money coming in and the cuts. It's really cuts. There's a lot of waste out there. So between the cutting the waste and the tariff that's creating money, we should get that bill passed.
Yeah, I would think, you know, and they have to do it because, you know, taxes, maybe you could talk about that. I mean, the implications for middle-class families, if that is not, you know, extended, is going to be a big bill, isn't it?
It's a big bill. They're talking it's like a $4 trillion bill.
Yeah.
You know, additional money. So that's something that needs to be done, that has to be done. And, you know, if the Democrats don't participate in it, then what are they running on? They have nothing to run on except Trump, and really to get illegals out of jail and get them back on the.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's like we're living
back
in two
home.
separate countries, you know.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because they're really not entitled, because they're not citizens.
Yeah.
They broke the law coming over here. But you know, this is the thing. I was telling Tommy, my wife, and you know, we were taking our walk, and I said yesterday, but if you think about it, I said, if we were born where these people were born, right? We were blessed to be born here,
right.
But, you know, and then you have a president like Biden encouraging them to come over. Why wouldn't you come over?
Sure.
I would come over.
Sure.
So you can't blame them. We have to blame this past administration,
Yeah.
what they did.
And 150,000 people a month coming over. And then even when he was sending people back, he didn't have any judges involved. Now you got all these judges involved. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really sad, you know. So really Trump's cleaning up this mess. But while we're talking about this, because it's going to get cleaned up. It's getting cleaned up every day slowly. But the good thing about it is when you have $5 trillion of companies that want to invest here, we're going to have a strong economy. You're going to start to see, and you remember what it was like his first, you know,
Oh, my God.
You know, people were working.
Yeah.
Inflation was down. Interest rates were down. People were buying, you know, houses. People were living the best life. And like I said, inflation was down, but income was up for Hispanics, you know, African Americans. It was up for everybody. It wasn't just up for the top niche that, you know, tier people that they try to say, oh, the rich got richer. Yeah, they made more money, but on a percentage wise, the middle income made more money percentage wise than the affluent.
Sure.
So this is what, you know, it wasn't trickle down economics. It was economics at work, and you know, and this is 2.0, and I think it's going to be better than that. But people want things immediately, and it just doesn't happen that way.
No.
When you have a mess that he inherited, you know, when you got 20 million, you know, undocumented people that come in, how do you find them? Number one, and how do you get them back when you have all these courts and lawyers and judges that are, you know, blocking everything?
And that's all money. It's all American tax dollars.
Yeah,
you know, paying for that.
Yep. So it is going to be, good, but we got to give it a little bit more time. But I hope you're staying in the market. I would love to show you what we can do. Let us. I'm going to have John talk about Retirement Simulator. We'll show you what you have, show you what your fees are, and show you these incredible portfolios that we have, the managers that we have, and the things that we have that you cannot get on your own. That's what you want. That's what I always say. I want things I can't get, you know, that, you know, just anybody can get. I don't want that. I want things that are special, and that's what we offer to our clients. So take advantage of it. John will tell you how to set up an appointment, come in here, and let us do a retirement simulator on you.
Yeah, Alfie has a tremendous team assembled that will take you to and through retirement process and show you the plan and strategy. Listen, if you don't have an income plan or a strategy to get you to and through retirement, maybe you're 5 to 10 years out from retirement, or even if you're currently retired, or maybe you have a mix of asset classes that need to be evaluated. Alfie's Retirement Simulator is a deep dive into your current portfolio that will see what's really going on. You'll visit with him in Fort Myers or Naples, whichever is more convenient for you. And even if it exposes all the hidden fees that could be eating up some of your returns each and every year, that will be worth the visit, your trip, your gas to come here. And but he's going to do more than that. He's going to create an income plan and a strategy based around your particular goals, your visions, your dreams. And he's going to expose everything inside your portfolio, making sure that you're rebalancing correctly, that you're allocated properly, that you're diversified correctly, and not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting. He has a whole risk program that will really assess your risk, not from like 1 to 10, what's your risk factor. It's going to show you exactly what your tolerance is, and then put together a portfolio and a plan that's within that. Listen, be one of the first 9 callers right now. Pick up the phone. Don't hesitate. Call the operator or text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077. You owe it to yourself to visit with Southwest Florida's premier financial planner professional. Over 40 years experience as a certified financial planner and a fiduciary. Pick up the phone, call the operator, or text the word VISIT 239-747-1077. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back right after this break, so don't go away.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor. This is Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci, and we are going to have a great second half of this show. We're going to talk about Trump's 100 days in his second term, which is pretty amazing what he has done. So we're just going to highlight some of these accomplishments, and you're going to and you're going to say, yeah, I remember that. I forgot about that. So yeah, he has done a lot in these 100 days. So let's get started with that, John.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of things that what I love about, Trump, even though he's a brilliant man, is that he assembles a team around him of the very best. And I mean, from, housing to the D&I to, health and human services. These are top level, individuals, and they're working, like you said, as hard as he is. And that's what's really making the first 100 days unprecedented, don't you think?
Yeah, and I like how he brings them around, and he lets them talk and say, okay, what have we done in your department? What have we done in your department? They talk, and hey, we've done this, and we've caught 1,000 people this past month because of your ability to let us do our job, and that's what happens. The Homeland Security was able to do their job.
Right.
It was awful. They were blocked in every angle they could think of. So they couldn't do their job. They couldn't talk about it. They couldn't do anything. But they are doing things. So let's talk a little bit about how many executive orders. So how many listeners, how many executive orders do you think he has signed in his first 100 days? Well, if you said 143, you're correct. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
And when he signs them, John, it was pretty cool because he signs them in front of in front of the camera, in front of everybody.
Fat Sharpie.
Yep, that big old Sharpie, and he signs it. And then he goes, explain what this bill is, and he talks
guy
about
from
it.
Harvard, that kid,
talks about it. And so he's really, when you talk about transparency, it is transparency what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so 143, executive orders, that's a lot. 5 bills into law. He passed 5 bills into law, and that's a lot too, just to get 5 bills already passed.
Right.
When you have a divided House and Senate like this.
I mean, all of his cabinet, everyone confirmed, which is
unheard
of too.
Yeah. Including immigration reform and spending resolution. This is Remain in Mexico. That was a big one, Remain in Mexico. Yeah. So these are things, again, when you have 20 million undocumented people that came over in the last 4 years, that is such a big number. And how do you find them?
Well, they all got phones that the Biden administration gives, so you track them right there, wherever they are. And then people are turning people in. They don't want them in their communities.
Yeah.
And rolling back the regulations. I mean, gas. I mean, oil was about $85 a barrel or somewhere around there when he got in. Right now, it's in the 50s.
Yeah,
So gas
high
is
50s,
coming
yeah.
down. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So when you talk about inflation, if you get, they were, when you get energy down, that is such a big number for inflation.
It's tied to everything, right?
It's tied to everything. Petroleum is made. It makes the plastics. It makes so much. It's not just the gas. The fuel that you're putting in your vehicles. It is big. It's a big number. So, like you said, it was in the 80s. Now it's in the high 50s, and we haven't really started drilling yet.
Right.
And once we start giving energy, getting enough of it to sell overseas, that's going to hurt Russia. That's going to hurt Russia big time. So that's going to make us stronger, them weaker.
Right.
So there's energy is such an important commodity to really have a hold on, and I think we're going to get it back real soon. But again, yeah, John, let's talk go ahead and mention some of these.
Well, I think Doge. I mean,
Yeah.
Elon sounds like he's going back to Tesla. I mean, his team is probably going to still be there, but I mean, over 160 billion, in federal waste, and uncovering it in every department. I mean, Lee Zeldin said they found it in the EPA. Tulsi Gabbard said she's finding it. I mean, Hegseth. I mean, when
They're
you think
all
about it,
finding
in
it.
every department, there's wasteful spending, but also corruption of spending. Where is this money going? There's money not even accounted for. I mean, they're just printing dollars and sending it here, there, and everywhere. It's crazy, isn't it?
I think the biggest one they haven't touched is Medicare, Medicaid. You have Medicaid right now that is.
And you already know there's a lot of fraud in that with doctors and different.
Well, yeah, you have that, but you have all these illegals that are on.
Oh yeah.
Medicaid
Sure.
right now. That's costing, probably in the billions and billions of dollars. So this is one reason why we have to, take care of immigration, and then, when you say Medicare and Medicaid, they got to market that pretty good, because the first thing the Democrats are going to do is talk about they're going to cut your benefits. No, they're going to cut the waste, and there's a lot of waste, but they have to go in there, and they have to do it with Social Security also, not cut benefits, cut the waste in there.
Yeah.
So you got probably more in those two agencies than any other, especially Medicare, I would think. Medicare and Medicaid is the ones that they have to really get a hold of.
Yeah. Well, the Democrats look like they're worried because they're fighting more for illegals than they are Americans, which tells, I mean, if you read the tea leaves, it looks like that they're dependent on these people for certain, things that come back to them. They want them here. I mean, when you fly to El Salvador to get one man back, come on, give me a break.
Yeah. Well, the who's the leader of the Democratic Party, Jeffries, or
Yeah. Hakeem.
Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, he was saying no more trips to El Salvador.
Yeah.
He's because it is not looking good for
They're
them.
staying in a 5-star hotel over there. I mean, it's coming back reflecting on them poorly.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We my son Devin, he helps with this show with Jake, the millennial, and he wants us to plug our podcast here, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and just Saving the Investor. It's very easy. Saving the Investor, and you can listen to our past shows. We can watch some of the stuff that we have on YouTube. So this is if you want to watch us in here and listen to us, you could do that on some of the older shows that we have. It's they're on every week. They're a week behind. So just subscribe to Saving the Investor. He wanted me to tell you that.
Yeah, it's always good to go on and see what we look like, the faces behind the voices.
Yep, that's
great
true.
Thing. Sometimes you can pop us up on your big screen TV and watch it there and watch some previous episodes and get some great information, because Alfie's bringing you top of the line, not only cutting information on what's taking place in the current markets, but he's also put together a plan and a strategy over 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional that will help get you to and through retirement. And you could pick on certain topics that you want to review there, especially go to savingtheinvestor.com, his website. Again, you can watch all of his TV broadcasts there. You can watch the podcast there. And really, they'll get a rounded understanding of what you're trying to accomplish in taking care of the whole person holistically, individually, because you create portfolios and strategies that are to the individual person and their needs, don't you?
That's a good point, John. We're not just, cookie cutter over here. What we do is we look at exactly what and we try to take the emotion for our clients out of it. If we take the emotion out of it, the market, doesn't rise or fall based on politics alone. Now, one thing I will say, President Trump has more power than I think any other president in my lifetime. He can say something that can really drive that market up, like he did with, hey, I'm going to put a 90-day hold on the tariffs.
Yeah, boom.
Boom. Big.
2,000 points.
Yeah, 2,000 points. That was huge. So these are some of the things that he can do. But typically the market rises, but you want to be in the market because you don't know when that deal is going to get passed. You don't know when he's going to say something to drive that market up. You don't know. So you have to be in it. You can't be sitting on the sideline, because if you miss a couple days of the best trading days of the year, you're talking of earning 9% to going down all the way to 5 or 6%. That's a big difference. So you have to be in it, but you have to make sure that you have the right companies. You have to make sure you have the right type of portfolio. And if you're needing income, guys, and girls, we know what to do for income. Our structured notes are still paying over 8%. Our tender offers are paying anywhere between 12 and 15%. So if you're looking for income, we know how to create income. I would have to say that's the lack of advisors, in the industry. They try to grow your money. They might do a good job at that, but when it comes to growing your money and taking income from it, it's two different things. If you don't know how to take income from a portfolio, this can just really deplete your account, and that's not a good thing. So you have to make sure you have an income plan in place, and we would love to put an income plan in place for you. Let us show you what we do here. I think you'll be amazed.
Yeah, it's a great time to give Alfie a call, 239-747-1077. Alfie looks at the whole picture, and while we're talking about this one big, beautiful bill, we don't know what's going to happen with taxes regardless. I mean, if it gets through, the taxes are going to be extended. If it doesn't get through, I mean, we're going to have a tax increase. But taxes are a ticking time bomb, and Alfie has put together a plan because you're going to deal with taxes when you start taking your money out of your portfolio when you retire. But you put together a plan that addresses uncertainties and instills confidence in your future. As a certified financial planner professional with over 40 years experience, Alfie has put together a tax map. It's really a map to get you from point A to point B. And really, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. And Alfie's tax map will help you achieve three key goals. Number one, he wants to lower your tax bracket right now. Number two, protect your money when taxes rise, and if they do rise. And number three, what if he can create for you a tax-free income? Wouldn't that be great? If you don't have to pay taxes when you start taking money out of your portfolio. Listen, be one of the first 9 callers right now to reach out. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is call and ask the operator for the tax map, or simply text the word tax, TAX, to 239-747-1077. Call or text now to request Alfie's tax map, and you can find a strategy that will help you generate a tax-free income in your retirement years. Call the operator or text the word tax, 239-747-1077. We're going to be right back right after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend. If you haven't picked up Alfie's brand new book yet, it's waiting for you. It's sitting here waiting to be sent to you. Keeping you on the retirement fairway, making waves in retirement. Pick up the phone, get one of his books right now. Call the operator or text the word book to 239-747-1077. There's many, many stories in there about how many investors that he helped save over his 40-year career. You want to get that copy in your library, 239-747-1077. And Alfie, in the time we have remaining, we want to talk about what retirees need to watch for and opportunities that they could take right now. Right now is really an opportunity, in the markets. Or a lot of people could have just missed great opportunities, but, right now is opportunities like we haven't had in years, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we have opportunity. The market was all-time high at the beginning of the year. It lost a lot of its value, and it's made a lot of it back, but it's still not at the all-time high. this is a time to, again, we have a lot of good news that still can happen with China, with deals around the country. So you need to be in. The one thing we do caution people, especially if you're retired, is taking income. If you don't have an income plan, if you don't know where that income's coming from, and if it's coming from a portfolio, as that portfolio is shrinking because of market volatility, that's called sequence of returns, and that's a sequence of return risk. Because if the market's going down and you're taking income from that portfolio, your income's the same, but you have to take a bigger percentage out to get the same income because the market's going down in your portfolio. So you got to be careful with that. That's why we use some of the really things that we use, like the structured notes. We have some people say, Alfie, I want nothing to do with the market. The annuity, they're paying pretty good rates right now because they're fixed, and I can't lose money on it. This is something that we can help you with too. So if you're looking for some type of guaranteed and create your own pension for life, we can do that for you. Some people want to, just say, hey, I want this money to pay me for 1 year to 2 year, and then let's see what interest is, and we'll renew it. So we can do that. So we have the 1 and 2 year plans also, which the structure notes and the tender offer. So these are all things that we can definitely help you with, but not knowing your where this income's going to be coming from when the market's down is very important. You don't want overexposure to the market risk. If you have just a bunch of stock and have nothing to keep from downturn, John, that's another disaster too.
Yeah, we always talk about 3 buckets of money and having safe money, right?
Yeah, you got to have safe money in there. You have to have money that, hey, if you want to buy that new car or take that trip. Speaking of trips, we had that beautiful event about a month ago with our travel concierge. And he is Jeff Lavender is a pro at setting up trips. So that's what we do here at the Advantage Retirement Group, because we always talk about saving money, saving taxes you always want to save, and how to grow that money. But we also want, after you grow that money, we want you to have that abundant lifestyle.
Enjoy the money, right?
Enjoy money. That's what it's for. If you want to give money away, if you want to, just take that trip that you always wanted to take with your family, or with just you and your spouse, or by yourself, we can help you with that too.
What do you offer to your clients? A way where they can actually take advantage of this concierge, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly, John. We have just a first class, almost travel agency for our clients, and it's not a fee to you. It's part of the services that we offer. And people that have taken advantage of it, they say, Alfie, thank you so much. It was the best trip we ever had. It was first class. Everything was taken care of. But that's what we want to do at the Advantage Retirement Group, is really, help you out to get to and through retirement. But it's not just about growing your money. It's about, fun, have fun along the way.
Quality of life.
Got to have the quality of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing. But, you're talking about, these different things that retirees need to watch for. What are some opportunities, or things that set you apart? Because like you just shared, I mean, most advisors aren't talking about a concierge that they have in-house that can help people get, first-class type of trips. But you're always looking for opportunities, and what do you see in the landscape of investing right now that are opportunities maybe that weren't there maybe 20, 30 years ago? Because we have different, the tech market now is so elusive.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So, the structure notes are things that give you a downside protection of 30%. So if you, tie this note to the S&P and NASDAQ, the date that you get in, as long as it doesn't fall below 30%, you're going to be just fine. You're going to get all 100% of your interest payment. Even if it fell 20% over the course of a year, you're going to get every interest payment you had. And then when that note comes due, either in a year or 21 months, I don't care if it's down 10%, 20%, 30%, you're going to get all your money back, and you got to keep all your interest. So these are things that we do that give you buffers. Buffers are the most important thing right now. With a volatile market, you do want buffers. You do want to have some downside protection. In a down market, though, you want to think about doing Roth conversions because like at the beginning of the year when that market was going down, John, it was down pretty good, but it already almost made it up again. So the people that wanted to do Roth conversions because of our suggestion did a Roth conversion, and now it's up to what it was. So they paid taxes when it was low, and then all the gains are tax free. Now they're loving life,
right?
Because you did a Roth conversion. And Roth conversion, you don't have to take out required minimum distribution. You can let it sit there and take it out as you want to, and it's tax-free. As long as you had a Roth for 5 years, you can take it out tax-free. So there's a lot of opportunities. Tax loss harvesting we do for people that want to create some losses in a portfolio instead of just letting it sit there. We work it so we can take losses and offset gains down the road. So these are all different things that we do instead of just let your money just sit there and do nothing. We are working the accounts for you. We get paid, so we want to give you value for what we're doing. If we're not giving you value, it's not worth to pay us. So we want to give you value of things that you can't get on your own and increase the returns by the strategies that we use.
Yeah, let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group add value to your life and portfolio. You're going to get both there. Pick up the phone. Be one of the first 9 callers before we go off the air now and visit with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples. Take advantage of that retirement simulator process. All you have to do is call the operator, ask for the retirement simulator process, or text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Again, you want to take advantage of Alfie's 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional. And on top of that, he's a fiduciary, which means his responsibility is to you, not to any of the products or services that he does offer here through the Advantage Retirement Group. Take advantage of his expertise and let him go to work for you, creating an income plan and a strategy that will get you to and through retirement. Again, pick up the phone, call the operator, or text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077.
It's amazing, John. 100 days.
That's it.
Yeah, 100 days is
1389 or something like that to go somewhere.
Oh yeah. This past week, 100 days of President Trump and his awesome team, what they have done, and you just feel the confidence of the people. Now, are people concerned about the economy? They give them a high rating for immigration. And the rating for the economy is still low. It's in the high 30s, but that's going to change because you cannot change what he's doing overnight with these tariffs and people and companies coming in to put this $5 trillion into play, into creating jobs. So the economy is going to be coming around, and when it does, you're going to see those numbers go through the roof. You really will. You'll see the economy numbers go through the roof for his popularity because he knows how to create jobs. He did it in his first term, and he's that much better in his second term. So just give him a little time, and you're going to see some great things with the economy, and you're going to see great things, I believe, with the portfolio. So, again, bring your portfolios in, let us do a comparison and show you what we can do here at the Advantage Retirement Group. We love what we do here, and we do a great job for our clients. So bring it in, and we will show you. Now, if you've never seen our TV show, Saving the Investors on NBC2, right after Meet the Press, 11 o'clock every Sunday. So I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. And until next week, stay tuned and be blessed.